What do you think about the All-Star game, bro? It was in Utah.
It was
Not
in
the
Utah.
most, I don't know, exciting state. Salt Lake City, not the most exciting city
Yeah,
in the U.S. Not really. I mean, they do get rowdy for basketball, though.
that's true. That is true. I know a few people that have visited Utah, and they always have good things to say. Um, obviously beautiful scenery with the mountains and everything like that. Good skiing, all that nature stuff. Um, All Star Weekend was okay, in my opinion. I feel like the All Star Weekend, the Pro Bowl, like all these different types of events. Um, they've been on the decline for the last like 10 plus years at least.
Mm,
And NBA, NFL, I think they're trying to figure out how to make it cool again,
yeah,
and it's just they're struggling.
yeah.
They're struggling.
Yeah, they did the split format. Had the team captains, had Giannis and LeBron.
Hmm.
They did the draft live on TV, which I found a little bit confusing. I mean, Giannis was confused himself. He started he tried to pick John Morant as a reserve, and
He
he was one
did.
of the starters.
He was like, "All right, for my first choice, Ja." They're like, "No, no, no, you have to take somebody else." And
Yeah.
of course, he took my guy, Dame Lillard,
Yes.
the champ, the 3-point champion.
Yes.
Um, he did what he does.
Yeah, man, he won. Julius Randle. I got on my Knicks shirt.
That's right.
Julius Randle
That's right.
participated. They showed his son crying after he's only scored 13 points in the 3-point contest.
I mean, it's not for everybody. I think a lot of the people that they had in the 3-point contest, they're just not 3-point shooters.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, Tatum can do anything he wants on the court, but he's not really a 3-point shooter like that.
he can get
Um,
hot, but yeah, not consistent. Like when you think
yeah,
of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Dame Lillard, these guys are
exactly.
automatic. So
Yeah,
Dame finally won, but
it
Steph
did.
Steph didn't even play. So does this even count?
Of course it counts. Of course it counts. I don't know if Dame did it all the ones that Steph won. If he competed all those same ones, because I think Steph did it what 3 or 4 times and Dame did it three. Well, this was his third. So I mean, I think all of these different activities that they have for All Star, it's like it would be way more entertaining if you actually have the All Stars participating,
Yes.
and they don't want to do it. They just
Who
don't.
doesn't want to do it? The All Stars or the NBA?
Um, I think the All Stars. I think the NBA can't really force them to do it. Um, like they have prize money, but usually the prize money goes to their charities, that sort of thing. So I don't know what the NBA can do to make it more interesting. We were talking earlier, like Friday night
Hmm.
used to be a requirement that everybody that's participating All Star Weekend shows up starting Friday. Now that's not the case. You just
Yeah.
show up whenever like your activity is, and I don't even know aside from celebrity and I guess the World versus U.S. game what
Hmm.
happened Friday.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all that happened. I don't know. I always end up missing like the Friday activities. Like
Yeah.
I'm never really super into it. The Saturday stuff is always fun, but I missed it this year.
Hmm.
But yeah, you were telling me some guy who's not even in the NBA ended up winning the dunk contest. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. So what's his name? Matt McClung, some white boy. He was a viral sensation for quite a few years when he was in high school.
Okay.
For being able to do some pretty cool dunks. Um, I think he went to Georgetown for a couple years, and then now he's in the G League. And I didn't know that they had opened up the dunk contest to G League players.
Yeah.
This was
I had
news
no
to me.
idea. I mean, it's news. Like you were the one who told me. If it's
Yeah,
news to you, then it's
I,
double news to me.
it was news to me because the announcer said it, but he's wearing like his Sixers gear. He's not even wearing like he's never worn a Sixers jersey before before the dunk contest, and suddenly it's like, all right, this is my new outfit for this competition. He did great though. He did really well. I have to give the kid credit. He's only 6'2",
Wow.
and he was jumping through the roof. He did like a 540 or 720 sort of dunk to cap off the win, but he definitely came to to dunk.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame the NBA would do that during Black History Month in Utah. Just pull a white boy off the street to come win the dunk contest. He's not even an NBA player. It's NBA All-Star Weekend. Like, okay, he's in the G League. Go dunk in the G League All-Star Weekend. Don't do that in the NBA. Not on Black History Month. But you did say he's 6'2". You're 6'3". Can you dunk like that?
Not at all. I could never dunk like that. I've maybe dunked twice in my whole life. So and I got the Timbs on today, so I'm definitely not dunking now. But yeah, it was pretty entertaining. It's just there were nobodies in the dunk contest. I feel like the only things that I remotely want to watch with All-Star Weekend anymore are 3-point contest and the game. And the game was even more disappointing than usual.
Yeah, so after the captains picked their teams, Giannis he scored a quick 2 points and got subbed out because he's hurt. Yeah. Then Bron ended up hurting himself at the end of the first half. Mm-hmm. But Jason Tatum, 55 points. He really showed out.
He went off.
There was no defense played at all. No. It was just a 3-point contest. It was boring. I wasn't even paying attention. Like, honestly, I just didn't care. There's no real incentive for them to play hard. There was some streaks of seeing some cool things like Jaylen Brown and Tatum kind of going back and forth. But I'm sorry, I really don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the game. I was over at Nat's house, and it was like the sequel to the 3-point contest at a certain point. Like, I think they definitely had more 3-pointers than they had 2-point shots. It was just like running up and down the court, seeing who could make a 3 first, or like a random alley-oop or a dunk or something like that. It was not competitive.
No,
not competitive.
Not competitive. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. But I really did enjoy the halftime show. They had all Afro Beats halftime show with Burna Boy, Tim's, and Rema.
Yep.
That shit was fire, man.
Yeah, the halftime show was really good. Before they had halftime, they had Post Malone come out. I think I can't remember if I told you or I messaged you, but I was like, why does he always look so dirty? Like, he just looks nasty every single time he goes out on the stage or he's out in public. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's the drugs, man. It's the drugs, the depression, the music industry. I mean, he did move to Utah, like, to get away from Hollywood because it was, taking a toll on him. He did look a little crazy on stage. I was relieved to know that he was not the halftime act because I thought that he was. The way they were advertising it, I didn't know. I didn't see any commercials saying anything about Burna Boy or anyone else. No. But they made the right move, man. That was nice, man. RZA, he came out and addressed some comments from Lil Duval because Lil Duval tweeted out that Afro Beats is going to take over from hip hop eventually. And he also said that he thinks like podcasters are bigger than rappers in hip hop as well. And RZA pretty much, he said he understood where Duval was coming from on those 2 points, but he said Afro Beats is just like an extension of hip hop, and so is podcasting. Like, what's your take on that?
I'm surprised to hear little Duval say that. First off, I think Afrobeats right now, in the wave of like dance music and the way that the party scene is, there's definitely a melting pot when it comes to what the music landscape looks like. When you think of rap, R&B, rock, jazz, like all the different genres are pretty popping right now in a lot of different ways. Like you go into New York City, obviously we're spoiled being in the Northeast.
Yeah.
But you can get anything that you want on any given night in terms of the music kind of vibe.
Super spoiled. I mean, that's not most places, especially in America.
True.
You go to a lot of places, they still playing top 40 hits from 2012. Like, I don't want to hear Gundam Style. Like,
that is true.
And the bar closes at 1 a.m. Shout out to Delaware.
Oh man, shots fired. But I think maybe hip hop and rap have taken a little bit of a step back over recent years, but I think it's still really popular.
Yeah, I think it's still number one. I
Yeah.
don't think Afro beats is a offset of hip hop. I think it's its own thing. It's different.
Yeah.
And I remember I remember when I first started dating Abby, we were out in Jersey City and we were just getting to know each other. And I was like, "Oh, do you like Afro beats?" And she was just like, "Yeah. I used to go back because she went to college in Utah. She was like, I used to go with my friend in Utah like all the time when I was in college." I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Applebee's," and I was like, "Nah, Afro beats." So now every time,
Oh man.
now every time I think of Afro beats, I think of Applebee's. Shout out for the free plug, Applebee's.
Exactly.
2 for 20.
Exactly.